Thor, Love and Thunder. Before we do get started with this video, I do want to say this is not going to be a review. It's just going to be a video about what I think about the movie. What you're hearing is true about this movie. It does feel like an SNL skit. It just depends on the viewer, if you like it or not. And me personally, I did not like what they did. The execution of every scene, the SNL vibes I was getting from this movie. Every small thing I disliked about Ragnarok, they brought all of that to this movie and upped it times 10. And that puts me in a bad spot. Throughout the whole first and second act, I was just like, no way. Oh my god. That was my reaction every joke they made. I'm not even exaggerating, there were like 3 jokes that made me chuckle a bit. But that was it. There was a very specific scene in this movie in the first act when Jane and Thor first met. And then Korg was narrating their love story. I am pretty sure all of you guys know the Black Widow SNL skit. That was basically Thor, Love and Thunder. And specifically that montage between Thor and Jane's relationship. Take that Black Widow SNL skit and replace Black Widow and Ultron with Thor and Jane. And that's what we got in this movie. This is basically what if Taika Waititi directed Black Widow. I am really confused because half of it was an SNL skit and the other half was a visually stunning action blockbuster. Korg and Valkyrie were just side characters. We don't give a fuck about them in this movie. They were just there for moral support. This movie was basically a love story between Jane and Thor. And yes, this Thor was funnier than Thor Ragnarok. Funnier. I don't want to say this word, but I'm gonna say he was acting more dumber. There was only like 2 scenes where we got really emotional with Thor, but that was basically it. And obviously the best character of this movie is the mighty Thor, Dr. Jane Foster. Her cancer arc in this story was beautifully written, but executed not that good, and I'm gonna tell you guys why. They used Valhalla kind of a joke. What we got from this movie about Valhalla is that you have to die in battle for you to be able to go to Valhalla. And they played that concept as a joke when Lady Sif was dying. We really didn't think much of it. And in the second post-credit scene when Jane Foster entered Valhalla, I just didn't get really that emotional because the execution of it. The way these actors are acting, the way it's executed, the way it's shot, it just feels to me like an SNL skit. It's a nice and emotional scene, and I can really see what they were trying to pull off, but honestly, it just didn't really... It wasn't well done for me. Jane Foster obviously didn't die in battle. She died because of cancer. And for her to be able to enter the Valhalla was really, really beautiful if you think about it. Gore the God Butcher was a really, really cool character in this movie, but I'm gonna be honest, when I saw this guy in the trailers, I was disappointed. I was disappointed by his look. It really looked like Christian Bale with gray paint. The only thing I wish they did with Gore in this movie was to extend his origin a bit. This movie did start with Gore the God Butcher, but his origin was just really rushed. He turned into a villain just like that, and his kill count was a blink and you'll miss it moment. The only on-screen kill he had was in the beginning of the movie. And no, I am no crazy guy, alright? I just want to see Gore killing all these gods on screen. Because it's in the name. But no, we just got a newsfeed telling us that he killed a lot of gods. And Thor and his team just finding out that he is going to be the villain of this movie. That was basically it. This movie really is confusing to me. I'm really confused. Taika Waititi is a really talented filmmaker. Just look at Jojo Rabbit. That shit was beautifully, beautifully done. I just don't know what happened to this movie. Like, Taika, just calm down a bit. I know what you're capable of. Just like tone it down, alright? With the humor and like going all out. This movie is just so weird to me because one scene can be really, really badly done and the next scene can be visually stunning. Take Blade Runner for example. This movie is a visually stunning, well-made movie, but in the next scene, it can look like this. That's basically what Thor Love and Thunder is. Those scenes just take me out of the movie and just like makes me think like, oh my god. Now with that said, if that was a hostage and you would have to ask me to pick Thor 1 and 2 or Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, I would choose Ragnarok and Love and Thunder. What they did in Thor 1 was really cool, you know, seeing Thor like that, but in the Thor 2 it just got really boring. And in the Avengers movie and Age of Ultron, he really was a boring character until Taika Waititi just like did a completely 180 on this character and made him more exciting. But like what I said before, they took all the small problems I had with Ragnarok and they upped it times 10. Would I like to see Taika Waititi direct Thor 5? I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. He's a really, really good filmmaker. I would love to see him direct Thor 5, but just like tone it down a bit. Just control yourself a bit, okay? Jojo Rabbit was one of my favorite movies in 2019. I know you can pull it off. Remember guys, this is what I think about the movie. You could fucking love this movie, alright? I don't care. All power to you. Fuck yeah. But for me, these are my thoughts of this movie. I just was really mixed on it, you know. They just over exaggerated a lot of stuff, and I just had issues with that shit. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment something down below. Let's just discuss this movie. What did you guys think of Thor: Love and Thunder? Peace out.